Guys, welcome back to my channel and to another episode of Come Make the Talk. If this is your first time clicking on my face on my video, welcome. My name is Shanique and I create videos on personal development and personal growth. And if this is not, welcome back. I love to have you. Make sure you subscribe and be a part of the notification gang so that we can have some conversations in the comment section every time I upload. Today's conversation is one that will blow your mind, right? My guests, Tracy and Roxxi Chung, will talk about jumping in the deep end and learning how to swim. She got her start in the entertainment industry back in 2008 when she had her own blog, Music Connect, where she featured Caribbean artists and celebrated those music. So we're talking about reggae, dancehall, soca, you know it. She talked about it. When she migrated to the US, she leveraged that experience and used it to get the opportunity to be an on-air media personality at a very prominent radio station in Wall Street at the time, and then subsequently pivoted into the PR space. So I don't know if you caught that, but she just kept moving, and clearly one experience prepared her for the next one. And today she talks with us through childhood, through some of the lessons that she may have learned along the way, and hopefully, you'll be able to find some nuggets of inspiration that you'll be able to apply to your own life. Now, Tracy, Roxxi, come make we talk. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Come Make we Talk. I'm your host Shanique, and of course in this series we kind of get a little bit closer to the people who have been so brave as to live out loud and to share their passion with other people and to do so in such a way that they're changing lives, right? Today I have with me Tracy-Ann Chung, who is a PR publicist in New York. Tracy, thank you so much, so much for agreeing to hop on and chat with me.
Shanique, it's been a hot minute. Thank you for having me. You didn't mention it, but we are childhood friends.
We are.
Yes, we go way back. So when she hit me up and say, pretty please, can you do something? Like, of course. Of course.
Listen.
And you are so professional with it, like.
Thank you. I don't take it for granted. I feel like even though we may have a connection, you know what? I know everybody stay the same way, and I would much rather come correct and have you answer the yes than prime up myself and just get a flop. You understand?
I'm cool. I am, and we go way back. So
thank you. I appreciate
it. I treasure friendships. One thing about me, I treasure friendships. I'm cool with your sister. I'm cool with your brother.
I love that. I love that. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I try to keep up with my friends. We may not talk, but
we're scope out on the sidelines. We're cheering each other on from the side. I get that. Yeah. So that's a perfect segue because you have been going on with a lot of activity, from radio show hosting to own PR company, and we're gonna get into it.
Yeah.
But we're coming from a small town in Jamaica, Lindsay, St. Catherine.
Yes.
And as much as we would have interacted on the school front, and you mentioned my brother, you and him went to high school together.
Yes.
There is so much that happened behind the scenes that kind of form someone and help to tell their story that isn't necessarily something that you share. And I appreciate the fact that you're open enough to want to delve into that. So we can start with childhood. What was that like for you? What was your home setting like? What did your parents do for a living? And what was that like going to that?
Okay, so my childhood, that was pretty fun. it was adventurous growing up as a little country girl.
Nice.
My family setting is pretty big. I come from a big family background, uncles, aunts, grandma, my mom. My dad, he lives in Montego Bay. So my summers, like half my life is in Montego Bay. Every
What?
summer I'm with my dad. Yeah.
Nice. Beachfront and thing.
Beachfront home. So much fun. Access to the beach. Going down to the beach. And I remember one of my fondest memories growing up is like being on a real farm, because my dad's helper and her granddaughter, we were so close. We were like
Wow.
sisters. So, part of that visit, I will be in Westmoreland on a farm. Her parents own a farm. So I'm getting country and it was so much fun. It was one of my fondest memories. So living home in St. Catherine, country girl, you go mango walk, like we were never hungry.
Let me tell you something.
Jackfruit, we eating orange, we eating apple to belly full.
Let me tell you something. I don't eat mango. I don't like mango. But
UK Jamaican card, UK black card, UK Caribbean card. There's no way.
But
I like East
I go mango walk though. Like I would pick up myself and go mango walk every day.
Girl.
Because just the act of going to the mango walk and picking up the mango, them nice. Like that was enough enjoyment for me, because you come home with a belly full of laughter.
You don't eat mango.
Well, we would be good friends, because guess what? You would know that if you leave the mango on the table or in the fridge, you would come back and see it. I would.
Valid point.
Okay.
Valid point. So coming from a big family background, so I was like not the child to be going out and play much. I was stush. So growing up, I was that girl always in the house watching tons of TV. Because at our prep school, what happened was why I was so home, like such a homey girl, like I fall and I scrape my legs, and I was like, as a young child, I was like mentally like, I'm not playing anymore. And then even though I'm from the tropics, I have this allergic reaction, like I have severe heat rash, so that further deters me from staying in the house. So it was so bizarre. So I couldn't heat rash. Like we go to the same prep school, like you guys wouldn't even know or remember, but Tracy-Ann was that kid that couldn't do PE and stuff like that. So as much as I wanted to.
Now that you say that, I remember, but them time that you always say, no man, you too stush. Why are you over there saying?
I wanted to play football. I wanted to have fun, but a severe heat rash, I would turn red and a lot of bumps all over. The least activity I do, but somehow I grow it out into teenage years until one occurrence I see it come back. But yeah, it was like growing up.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I actually know as an adult, I realized that you can be allergic to the sun. You can be like have a severe allergic reaction.
Kind of cut short, like I can't stay out in the heat, like I'll break out, girl, break out. But I grow it out for some reason. I grow it out, and then fast forward a little bit to my teenage years. Those years were rough, and everybody can relate. Going through all the emotions. I left my siblings and I left the big family house, and it's a turmoil time with my mom and her husband at the time, and so a lot of family rifts that caused us to relocate to another town in St. Catherine, and it was pretty rough right there for a couple of years.
What kind of student were you at school? Like, were you like a popular girl, with all the things then?
I was not a hot girl for sure. I was like, I'll consider myself, in retrospect, to be a good friend, a good chick that everybody got along with. I was like right there in the middle. Like I was taking in my schoolwork, very studious, but at the same time, I hung out with pretty much anybody. Like I could just maneuver myself with any kind of group. I was friend with the nerds, friend with the cool kids.
That's good.
For the most part. So yeah, and I keep link and friendships with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And again, I put
Okay.
cheerleading as a wish because of the heat rash. So you know what Tracy do? I write the lyrics, I write the songs, I remix the songs and everything.
Yeah.
So in high school, like I was a kid, I was in drama, I was in the business club, what other clubs? Red Cross and stuff. Not strenuous activities.
Yeah, but still very much
So,
involved. Like, yeah. I
yeah,
love that. I love that. You never just take that L and say, all right, I'm not doing anything.
as much as I
But
wanted to be a hot girl cheerleader, I couldn't.
well, I'm not a hot girl, right? I consider myself a freelance hot girl. Like I set my own hours, and some days I look like a homeless person, and then other days I look half decent. So I'm
you know,
a freelancer.
up to today, like teenagers transition to womanhood. My mom was like, "You can't just better. You can't just you can't do that." Like I'm so nonchalant about my image. Like if I walk through the town looking all basic, I still get attention. So I didn't have to put much, not to flaunt, but I didn't have to put much
Yeah,
attention into my appearance. So that. So I didn't pay attention to it much.
I understand that. hmm All right, so let's talk about career choices. So of course in high school, by the time you get to ninth grade, teachers will be prompting you to kind of, consider your future, talk about career paths so that you can look at your CXCs and see which ones you're going to take. What was that process like for you? Was there a conversation that you had with your mom to
I
kind of dissect what that would look like, and how did you ultimately make that decision?
okay. So before I touch the high school part, I know that as a little girl, I wanted to be on TV or I wanted to be on a radio, because I consume so much media, I guess. I remember going into my great grandma's room, pretending to read the news,
Mhm.
talking a lot of gibberish. So,
And trying to read and not look at the paper so you can.
right? So growing up, I was so fascinated with news. I wasn't interested in news, but I liked the news somehow. So
Mhm.
growing up, showing up my age, I was into Helen Coley Nicholson. I was into Dion Samuels. What's her name?
Um, Doreen
Maureen
Samuel.
Samuel. Sorry. Oh my God, that's my icon.
But you have Dion Jackson Miller. So
Uh,
you're calling two media
right?
people.
Yeah. So I really look up to those ladies.
Wow.
And I used to listen to her on RGR too. So I was
Mhm.
so fascinated with radio. Before the high technology now, I was really tuned into the radio.
Mhm.
Always listening to radio Saturday night, weekend time. I'm not those like kids, like I said, out and about. I'm there tuning to the radio, tuning to the TV. I know every personality. So fast forward to high school now, I was supposed to make decisions. I remember like I wanted to go into business because my friends was going into business classes.
Mhm.
So I was forced to go into the arts because business was full up. So that steered me into liking. I guess it benefited me anyways because I turned out to like history. I like it, social studies. I love
Mm.
all those subjects that falls under the arts because I was fond of reading, fond of
Mm.
writing. It turns out. So yeah, and then I love to write. I was always writing poems and stuff like that. And then leading into college, I definitely said I wanted to do mass communications at UWI,
Mhm.
University of the West Indies. So that didn't work out. So unfortunately, I feel so
What
defeated.
happened? Why weren't you able to?
So the situation is where you want to pursue a mass communication degree at UWI, it's very limited space. Very
Mhm.
limited space. So what they do is test you on your English. So, and I set the test twice
Mhm.
and I didn't get through twice. I failed twice for some reason.
What?
Yeah, that is like very strict high mark. So I could miss the points by one or two. Um
Wow.
yeah, very limited.
How did that feel? Like
I,
knowing that.
I felt defeated because I'm like, oh, what am I gonna study then? I
Mhm.
can't get into SOSA because I'm done with maths. That's true. That's off. Like, I'm not. numerical person. I hate maths and I hate stuff like that. Like I could do accounting, that's about it. I got what, a 2 or 3 in accounts in high school, so that makes more sense to me. So so I felt really disappointed at the time. So I went to the counselors there at UA, and they introduced me to a similar program called Language, Communication and Society, where it's linguistics based, with they dabble into some communication based subjects. So I pursued it, Language, Communication and Society. I turned out I really like it. I really like that course, and I minor in cultural studies.
What? Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So we're in UA. We're at UA. Sorry.
Yeah.
And we're doing linguistics, language communications, cultural studies. Was it that course that had Ragashanti?
Yes, those courses too.
That raga, all of my
like I went to some dancer.
All of my friends, whenever they had a free elective, Ragashanti. Oh, we're going to that course.
What's fun? We do a fashion course. So humanities turned out to be great.
How did that help you to bloom, like as an individual, right? So, yeah. Well, so when it comes to adversaries or like uncomfortable situations, like yes, you'd have had experience with that from childhood.
You definitely turned me into something, girl. Like college. Anybody can tell. Like college, sweat, blood, and tears. Literally, literally. Like my first year was okay. By time
you lived on hall.
I did for 2 years.
What hall were you?
Rex Neckleford. The bougie one. Not by choice. Not by choice again, because I wanted to go on Taylor.
Yeah,
but I didn't know the culture of the halls back then.
Okay.
But yeah, I didn't know the cultures of the halls, so I was like, as again, I was following friends. Taylor Hall, and then I didn't get through, so they were like Preston, and I really wanted to go on Preston, but that didn't went through because of space again. So then just throw me over right next to Rex Nettleford.
Got it.
So that was nice too. It turns out better for me.
Wow. So I like how you're kind of acknowledging that. Like, okay, even though you had to divert.
Yeah, like I wasn't miserable there, anything as was expected. And then it's most expensive house, so I was worried about finances. But my daddy helped me a lot,
All right, so let's talk about some of so here you are, facing what would have been seeming like, okay, this are gonna defeat me right now. It's not what I wanted to study, but it's what's available. So let me just do it, change my attitude, and try to be open to what's available.
Yes, it's really, let me just, when I read the subjects, what everything was about, I was like, okay, this seems not so bad. And then I was in the back of my head, I was like, maybe I can change it again. Maybe I can resit this and really do what I wanted to do. Just to go back a little bit, I didn't went to UA. I went to NCU. I applied. I went to NCU for a year because I chose NCU. Like, okay, I didn't get through to UA. I didn't pass the test, so let's just go to NCU. And I got the.
Oh, so you went to UA to do the test and the first time, and then went to NCU and then went back. Was that?
Let me explain. I guess I did the test like before I was supposed to go in August, and I failed, and so I applied to NCU. My friends say, because NCU, guys, it was pretty easier to get acceptance into mass comm. So I was a mass comm major at NCU, and then I don't know you can recall, but there was a hurricane. So. And then I did not know I got accepted into you because, girl, then time there, your acceptance letter came in the mail. But then, it came via the mail. You have to go
postman.
You have to go to the post office in my little town called Linstead, So I spent the year NCU and I was there, but it wasn't challenging me. And mind you, the courses were good, and I absorbed everything, the subjects and everything. So that was a precursor for me going into UA. So when I found
Got
out,
it.
I
Understand.
was so obviously it was late for me to like really go to UE. I was already in the semester at NCU, so I had was the terror year at UE. And then when the following school year come, I said I'm gone. So I did NCU.
So you basically were you able to like transfer credits from NCU basically?
Unfortunately, no.
What?
Unfortunately, no. I had was to start over everything, girl. Like,
Mhm.
Shan, and then yeah, start over, and so that was like I think they asked me to sit the exam again, maybe a couple weeks for the mass comm test, and then I found out I failed. So that was like, okay, I really want to come to UA, so let me do the language communication and society course.
So let's talk like rejection, right? To this point.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of not being able to get in for your course of choice,
Mm-hmm.
what other experiences would you have had with rejection like growing up? Like you sound like your family was cool, fun,
Um,
extended family
it's half half.
agreements.
They are cool. Like I have a lot of fun aunts, fun uncles. In terms of rejection,
Or was that something that you faced at any point? Like was this the first time that you would have had an experience, going through something like that where like, okay, I really had my heart set on this one thing and I wasn't able to get it.
yeah, I guess only in terms of me not getting to study what I wanted to study, so I just made the best of the situation. That's the
Mhm.
first major rejection that
Wow.
got in my life, and I can say it really worked out in my benefit because linguistics it really teach you the ins and out of communication. Like really, with my career now, it helps me more with my career, understanding
Mhm.
gender roles, understanding how to communicate better in whatever setting. So I can really praise my course for that, and I would definitely like recommend that course to anyone.
Oh, look at you. Okay. All right. So let's talk
Definitely.
about finish you now. Finish you
4 years of
graduates.
sweat, blood, and tears.
Put you in the sweat, blood, and tears,
Yeah.
and get a little piece of paper,
You
roll
know what? You know
paper.
what was also disappointing with my struggles at UE? Like I
Yeah.
didn't graduate with my honors. That was super, super, super embarrassing for me
What?
personally. And yeah, it was embarrassing for me because I put in so much work and effort. And it was so disappointing. I had was to do a semester, summer semester before I graduated because, I come from humble beginnings. My parents didn't have it like that. My mom was struggling a lot. So during my 3 years at UE, I went on the work and travel program. So I
Mm-hmm.
was sending myself through school. And so a lot of times, semester by semester, I wasn't able to meet the deadlines, the tuition deadlines.
Mm-hmm.
So one particular year, my final year, I remember I was supposed to, uh, my God, it's like doing this course that like they didn't allow me to sit the exam. That's an automatic
Oh
F.
wow.
That was an automatic F that dropped my GPA. So I had to
Wow.
do over that. It was a very difficult course, a syntax course. I had the very hard course exam and a very easy exam, a cultural studies course with Dr. Donahoe. I
Yeah.
passed the what do you call the pre stuff that you do, like
Like the classwork and
classwork and everything. So I was going in there with like an A or a B, and I didn't get to do the exam. You
wow.
understand? I didn't get to do two of my exams. So, luckily Donna Hope she was very understanding and everything. So it's okay, Miss Chung, next semester or when summer come, just do over the exam and she will bring forward whatever
Oh, that's so nice. What about the other lecturer?
I had was to just do over the whole course that summer. So that was a setback. So instead of me graduating UW in 2010, I had was to graduate November 2011. So that was a
Wow.
major setback for me. I was pretty hung up on the piece of paper, you paper saying, it's like not
First
ready
class
to be
honors.
honest. But I get over it eventually. I was like, it's just a piece of paper anyways, and just it is what it is. Nobody's gonna like what jobs like. Do you have an honors? know, do you have an
I give
honors
you a
in this
joke.
or that?
So I graduated a bachelor's in management studies and uh, a minor in accounting.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had several corporate jobs, and I've never had to present my degree.
Exactly.
I
Like
never needed to take it into an interview. It
really,
was having it on my resume was good enough.
right,
So
right,
nobody really cared about
right.
what you did.
I was hung up on it for a little while until I was like, don't
Mhm.
worry, girl, it doesn't really matter. And before I left UE again, like I applied to tons of jobs in the corporate area, almost every media house in and around Kingston, and to no avail. I ended up just before I migrated to New York, I had two dead end jobs back to back, miserable jobs. So I was like, I'm not making use of my degree,
Mhm.
and that's a disappointment.
That's
So my mom was like, I went to visit one summer, and my mom was like, stay. I'm like, no, mommy, I have to finish up my degree. I have to finish up UE. And then the following year again, she asked me to stay, help out my younger sister at the time. She was very young at the time, to help her and whatever. And she would make a way for me, start myself out and maybe get better jobs. So
nice.
I've been living in New York for the past 8 years.
That's a long time.
Thank
Wow.
you, guys.
Okay. So no, we're getting into the things, right? So leave Jamaica. We decide that okay, you know what?
Unfortunately, I wasn't even the type of person. I was like, I thought I would contribute to brain drain. I was like, Jamaica may have stay forever. Like,
I
staying in
have come
America,
to
staying in America,
realize
it wouldn't cross my mind. Like,
that unfortunately, like as much as you may want to stay and contribute, sometimes it's better to love from a distance. It's better to contribute from a distance because
definitely, in
it
retrospect,
allows you to set a better foundation for yourself.
definitely, I see. Like, I was very depressed. I was very like, I miss, like, oh my god, my social life, but it wasn't working out for me. It wasn't working out for me if I had stayed in Jamaica. And I definitely, at first, I thought I would have regrets. The first couple months was rough, of course. And then the winter time, that when I was diagnosed clinically depressed.
What?
Yeah, I was, but I didn't take anything for it or anything. I just I just ride it through because I didn't want to put me on any pills to make me get addicted to anything. So I just rode it through, and then summertime come, like the money I had work in the summer, that's all I was living off of until summertime come. When I was down to my last, I finally got a job, another job in the restaurant industry. So yeah, it was rough.
How did you make the transition into media in the US? Like, I kind of feel like though it's the same field, same industry, it can be a little bit harder to get into the media space. I could be wrong, but I feel like the transition into mainstream media in the
I always
US.
tell myself this, like, had I been up here maybe from a younger time, like teenage time, and go through the school system,
Mm-hmm.
like I would have been on a bigger platform.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted to pursue media, or if I had not gone to UE or went to a bigger college here, then I feel like I would definitely be on a bigger platform. But I don't regret anything. I don't regret my journey, because all right, how I got into media, it was just opportunity. um was I blogging in Jamaica? I was blogging in Jamaica before blogging was popular. I was
Mm-hmm.
blogging. ex of mine when I was at NCU. I don't want to go into too much. He was blogging, so he pretty much introduced me to blogging, and I see that he was blogging about his interests. He was that's where he expressed himself. You know, it's like a journal for him, and I like it. So I tried it out, and I see that I use my interest in music to start blogging. At first, I started following him with the expression part, and they said, "No, let me blog about my real interest, which is music." And so I started an entertainment site called.
So would you like feature artists or just talk about like the latest album or?
My blog was basically like review and introducing new artists, new music that I came across. So I cover like soca, dancehall, and reggae. And then later on, when I was in the States now, I started promoting 1 and 2 parties on my blog.
Nice.
And then I don't know this guy, and my blog wasn't even getting that much traction. Only like around my friends and stuff, where they see it and whatever. I don't know who really reads the blog, but this guy, he reached out to me and said he likes my content and I'm consistent. And I remember one year I was in Atlanta. Consistency, which I lack more time. So I was in Atlanta because he was in Atlanta. He's at Atlanta based, and he said when I come to Atlanta, I should give him a call or something. And then, long story short, he had me doing the media news to one of his friends' radio show that was based in New York, but I was doing the news. I set it up and reading the news, entertainment news. And then he further put me on to Source Life Radio. That was the radio station located on Wall Street. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh my god. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this. No. So
all right, hold up 1 minute, right? Because here you are in a position now where that same girl who used to read news, in her grandma's room, is now reading news like in real life.
Not even trained. Not trained.
You failed the mass communication examinations.
I was on a there's a tidbit to interject right there. I did a reality TV for they wanted some new reporters or something on CBM, and I went for it. I dropped out to the first row because with no experience, you have to pass the teleprompter test.
Yeah.
And I didn't pass it. But I appreciated me trying,
Yeah. That's important. That's very important. Like it shows that you're not afraid to face the fear. So
reality TV show, I don't know who remembers it, but it was a very short stint thing on CBM.
What was the name of it?
I don't even remember. It was like 1 season 2 on CBM. I remember.
Okay. I feel like I know the show you're talking about, but I don't remember the name. I'm gonna see if I can find it and like probably if they have any footage, link it down below so if people can see.
Point me out and they show my blooper. I was like, oh my god. But I really
look at you now, like right now.
It was an experience. I'm glad I tried. I was like, I know I wasn't gonna win or anything, but I'm just glad I tried. So yeah, girl. So I did that for a couple weeks, and it was even before I migrated. I was just in Atlanta. So he found out that I was based in New York now, and he said, it's like when I'm bridging when I grew up with, and if we go to the radio station. I'm gonna say, oh my god, what?
Is he Jamaican?
Jamaican born and raised, but majority of his life he was in Atlanta, and turns out he's a music producer based in Atlanta. He produced a lot of Afrobeats now and stuff like that, and some stuff for prominent people as well. So yeah, I was like so intimidated, like, oh my god, what, I'm going to be on the radio? But I wasn't going with an intention of saying I was going to be on your personality, because I told him like I have no experience and whatever, and I was like I could help them produce a show, because the thing is now, being an introvert and I like the production part of things, so because I know I wasn't trained professionally for a media person, I always say like, I love to write and I love the media world, I love the music thing. So I'll produce, so I'll go down there and on Wall Street, New York, and it's a very posh building. I went
That
down there.
alone is intimidating as it
I
is,
don't know.
right?
Honestly, I did not know what I was getting myself into, but I just
Mm.
walking by faith, and I said, nothing tried, nothing done. So
Mm-hmm.
I went there with an open mind,
Mm-hmm.
and so there was for the show. So he said, just still go. So I went. So there was DJ Rugged and his co-host Sharice at the time, and I was there observing and stuff like that. For I remember the first time I was just observing and stuff, and then there was one particular night I was there. 'Cause I wasn't doing nothing too tough. I don't remember, but there was one particular night there was some big miscommunication, some big misunderstanding and whatever, and the girl, his co-host, left. And then that night I was thrown in the on-air personality to co-host with him,
What?
and I totally winged it. That nurse was just a blur. I don't know how I did it. I don't know how I did it, Shan. And turns out he liked it, and it was history from there. Like I told her.
Wow.
So when I was there for 4 years, 4 full years, I loved it. I met a lot of entertainers. I interviewed like people like Cranium, you know. Um, it was fun. I ended up having to blog for them for their website, so that paid off.
So not only did you now, become their official blogger, but you were also on air. Like, was it like a daily
And
occurrence that you
and
would
then
be?
the part that I really love about being there, I got my own show where I produce. Yes, I got my own. I hosted a top 10 hit program with
Wow,
dancehall and reggae. So I was bringing the cultural aspect to them because they were urban, hip hop based and stuff. So I was bringing the Caribbean culture to their platform, which I enjoyed. I did that for a couple months. Well,
that's awesome.
yeah. So
Okay, so like right now, I feel like first and foremost, working on Wall Street. Like, if you tell anybody that that's where like the top
from
dog,
Linstead to Wall Street.
you understand what I mean?
From
Like, I
Linstead to
feel
Wall
like that's the
Street.
title of this, from Linstead to Wall Street and then some, right? Because you never
From
stay there.
Wall Street.
At what point, working with that organization, that radio station, did you say to yourself that, you know what, maybe there is something a little bit more in it for me, and I could kind of branch off on my own?
So in the interim of things, a little before I even land the radio gig, there was public relations that I stumbled across, but I didn't know exactly what it was or what it entails much or what would be expected of me to do it. But I don't know. So over time, I sort of self-taught myself it. And, I practiced one of the main parts of doing public relations, press releases. So I kind of teach myself how to do it. And yeah, and then to no avail when I tried to attempt, like I know this one friend that could sing and I was trying to manage her. That didn't went well, she wasn't into it. And one of my struggles in trying to establish myself as a publicist was gender issues, where as a woman, I wasn't taken seriously. Yeah, that was stressful, like being hit on and not taken seriously, and yeah, that was a nightmare. So I took it out of my head. I didn't want to do it no more. It was stressing. I remember one occasion I left all the way from the Bronx where I lived to go to all the way to Brooklyn by myself. I barely know the streets that then, how to maneuver myself to New York City. And I went all the way to Brooklyn by myself one winter. I remember falling on the black ice that day.
What?
Yeah, and turns out this producer guy told me to come to Brooklyn to meet his artists and to do business. I bring my naive self down there. It didn't turn out to nothing like molest or anything, but I was very uncomfortable. and there was no business like I thought it would have went. And I just took myself because he ended up asking me out on a date. I'm like, I'm not here for this, sir. So those are the struggles, like time after time, not taken seriously, and being a lone female, and I don't really know who else I could ask for help at the time to really show me the ropes and to how to do it at the time. So at the radio station, I started seeing, because with PR, I was on the other end of the media. I was the media person. So I saw how publicists would come in and send me emails, and how they send the email pitching their clients and stuff like that. And I kind of get more understanding of it. And then I met like 3 other top female publicists here in New York that was coming to my platform. And then I said, oh, okay, this is how it is. And then I caught the bug. I'm like, yeah, this is what I want to do. I want to be a publicist.
You caught the bug.
Like, okay, so all this a girl that wants to do media. This is a girl that always reading. This is a girl always writing and stuff. This is where I was honing my skill over the years for. So at the time,
that's important.
Yeah.
How did you make the step out? Like, how did you
step
out into full-time public relations?
So over the years, like I said, like not being taken seriously, I had put it down. So I thought I was going to be a media personality. But the radio station fizzled, and I got pregnant at the time, and everybody kind of went their separate ways. So my excuse was to leave now because I was pregnant, and serious time now, because it wasn't a paid gig. It was like something I love to do. I was all done there every Friday. So, but I just do it for the love of it and the experience. So I got pregnant. I was like, okay, I can't do this no more. I'm not going back. And so they eventually fizzled. They did their time. And so 2019, past 2019, I reached out to a very prominent publicist that I came across. Her name is Marie Driven. She's like a top tier publicist here in New York. So I reached out to her, like, I was basically saying, can you like show me the ropes? Can you like give me some insights or whatever? And after when she's like, why don't you just come by my establishment and come work for me? I'm like, what? So she said, yeah, just come now, come and come to our place. And I did like a couple weeks after that, or a week after that. She was her business, Playbook Media in Brooklyn. I went down there, again walking by faith, not knowing what to do, what to expect. I saw they interviewed me and they liked me. Her and our partner, they was very interested. So
got the job.
I really understood the ins and outs of being a publicist, like the what the job really took. All that. And then she was really like, when I shared the part about not being taken seriously as a woman in the business, I guess she really like understood that part, and she took me under her wings. I was there for almost a year, and then I left them late that year, and then by January I said, you know what, I'm gonna do my own thing.
Okay, what was that transition out?
Roxxi Chung PR.
What was that transition out of Maria's like tutelage? What was that like, trying to exit that opportunity?
I just really garner much information. I garner a lot of insight. I garner a lot of experience the time I was there. And then I realized I was built for it. Like, it's a hard job, it takes a lot, but I found out I have a really liking for it. I have a passion for it.
So we're starting our own business. We at Roxxi Chung, right? Yeah. And it's time now to get into entrepreneurship. All this time you were working for somebody else.
Right.
So you really just had to clock in, clock out, not really like participating much in the behind the scenes in terms of like the business setup.
Right.
What was that process like when it was time to like set up shop for yourself?
First and foremost, there was a lot of self-doubt. I grew up having a lot of self-doubt and not much confidence in myself. Yeah, and then no real experience in entrepreneurship. But you know, my sister Deandra, I kind of emulate her, and I talked to her about it at one point, and I know how hard entrepreneurship. I just didn't see myself as an entrepreneur at all. Like no business plan, no nothing. Like I need money, you know. But I just tell myself like I'm just gonna do it because I garner so much experience. I just can't put it down. I would be really worthless if I really put it down. And then, you know, under Marie and her partner, they're like, even if I left them, I should continue. They really say I should continue doing what I'm doing. Because while I was with them, I was really managing my own clients. I was really managing my own campaign. They let me do that with not much experience, but, you know, under their guidance, you know. I was doing a lot of writing. I went on media runs and everything. So I garnered so much, and I said, all right, wait, what I've done, like, and it's like they have a team, and it's gonna be me by myself doing this. So I just, like I like to say, I walk by faith, and I just took a leap of faith into entrepreneurship. So it's like I did a lot of reflection. I did a lot of praying. I just took a moment to like really say I'm going to do this, and even if I fail, and so let it be. So you know, I just started. I just start where I needed to start and just start doing it.
What has that process been like so far?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Nice.
Pretty good. Like slowly but surely. So I'm steadily gaining traction for the past year. This past March, I finally landed my official website. That was a big deal for me, and I don't even know why I took so long to have a professional website. I guess again, not taking myself that seriously. I thought I could have like just a little link to this and that. And as a publicist, I needed to brand myself properly and put myself out there. That was like the thing for me last year in the pandemic. Put myself. I started my business in the pandemic. Like that's a huge deal. Like, cause in the latter part of 2019, I was really pumping myself up for this. So there was it was do or die for me. I already was coming to 2020 with a very, very strong mind frame that I'm going to do this. I'm going to start my own PR firm. So it's like, again, right through this conversation, you're going to hear me say it works out for me, because it definitely did. I can definitely attest to it, because the world slowed down so I could prosper, because I was able to, you know, the pandemic, everybody was in front of their computer. I didn't have to go through the very traditional or the very professional type where I have to send emails to people who I wanted to reach out to. I was hitting up people in their DMs a lot, you know, and people were very receptive to me. Whatever I was trying to do, it was very receptive, and it worked out for me. I did a little media course myself, so I'm kind of certified. I got featured by this PR firm as an upcoming publicist. That was a huge deal as well. So a lot of things that I just keeping up the momentum and putting myself out there, and I was just receiving good tractions. And another thing in branding myself and putting myself out there, I did like a whole photo shoot, and I market myself and had different publications to write up of me, interviews for me, to just advertise.
Get yourself out there.
Yeah, to cement myself as an entertainment publicist.
Well, like, you know, congratulations on that, like, first and foremost, like, to step out and to say, take that deep breath and be like, I'm gonna do this. Okay, I have no idea, no experience, no links, no. I'm not coming from a trust fund. I'm doing this by myself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is hard.
One of the main thing in life, like I heard growing up, like, you know, not everybody was born with ambition, and ambition is a hell of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I take that with me. Like, I have that drive in me to like pursue my goals. Like, and I said, like, one way or the other, I'm going to make use of this degree. One way or the other,
Yeah,
like
of course.
so in the future, you know, next step, if I have an established office, that little non-honorary degree is going up.
But of course, very,
Because
very,
blood
very proud of it.
and tears went into that little paper,
Yeah.
so I have to make use of it. You know,
I
and
did some math, like, afterwards. Like, I would have left UA around the same time, like 20, I got pregnant in 2011, so 2012, I would have left UA. And when I finally got that paper and it rolled up, I did some math. I said, this paper in this little tube worth $2.1 million. I'm savoring it. I'm savoring every penny because it was hard to acquire it, and it brought out a lot out of me to know that, okay, well, I can't let this opportunity go to waste. So I completely agree with you, and I need to put it up right here so people
right there, so if they're like, oh, I have an office or no office, like that piece of paper. Like, you know what I do when I send in out proposals? I had I just take it off of Google and I screenshot it. So the media certificate, the UE, not even such, just the UE emblem and thing, it's there, so you know I'm educated and I'm certified. So that's kind of a way of doing it. When I'm sending out proposals, then I'm accredited.
Wow.
I'm not plain.
I never thought about that. Okay.
So yeah, they see it. I'm my affiliation with the women in PR business. So those three things are there.
Yeah.
I'm not playing, girl.
So if you could summarize like the last 12 years, because you've been in the US now for 8, but before then you'd have had, you know, your time at UE, and
at UE I was with the guild paper and doing stuff. I was dabbling into media some way, somehow.
So if you could summarize the last 12 years into 3 lessons that you have learned that have stuck with you, or something that you implement daily right now, what would those 3 lessons be?
Ambition, perseverance, and faith. Walking by faith, having faith, because I'm very spiritual. I have a little fancy cross right here. You know, I was like, God is always with me. God, you know, just believe, and when it's my time, it's my time. I always believe with that. A very good friend of mine taught me this lesson that I always borrow me to. It's like, it's a very popular saying that what is it, like preparation. Oh my god, my brain is frazzled, sorry. Oh my god, my brain is frazzled. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
My brain is frazzled.
Okay.
But it's like a very important lesson right there that I always brought with me to like carry me through.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it's ambition, like constant cultivation of that, you know, never stopping, doing what you need to do to get to that next level. Perseverance, so that's pushing through, irrespective of like the hardship.
I can definitely add passion to it too, because if I didn't like it, I wouldn't pursue it. I would definitely have maybe 1-2 regular jobs. I have a 9-to-5, but that 9-to-5 really allows me the space to really do the PR work. So I'm looking for that aspect. So I'm able to juggle it too. I'm juggling family life. I'm juggling life in general. So yeah,
And faith.
in faith.
I love that. I feel like that's a good note to close off on. Like I feel two things that I'll take with me just from this conversation. One is the importance of consistency.
Right.
And just continuing to do what you're doing, like even if you feel like nobody's watching, people are observing, people
Right.
are seeing, they might not engage or comment or like, but they are definitely noticing, and that's important. And you keep saying something throughout, like it will work out, it will work out. And I love that, because what I hear is you can't mess this up. There's nothing, if you can't do anything wrong. So even though you may have been feeling doubtful on whether or not, like, am I really doing the right thing, it always came back down to, I really couldn't mess this up. I can't make these opportunities. They had to be
Right.
given to me, because like that's what I was supposed to be doing. So it didn't matter where I was before, I couldn't mess it up.
Like for the
I love
past
that.
year, I really wanted to shed that, a lot of that self-doubt are always bringing me a lot over the years, and I can't and I'm not able kind of thing, that shy girl thing. I really wanted to step out. I just wanted to be that girl or that woman that I want to be. So I want things like not material things. That I just want to be known as Roxxi.
You want to leave your mark.
I want to leave my mark, and then I want to make use of my degree, and I want to do this. And I'm always growing up with media and entertainment, and music is my passion. Like music is a big passion of mine. So I just know that somehow I would land it in this field. And I didn't know I would step out to be an entrepreneur. I'm still learning. There's still a lot of things I'm not doing, like procrastination is a big deal. I still procrastinate a lot, but
I
me
always say
procrastinating,
I would start a procrastination club, but then every time I think
let me
about
know.
it, I say I'll start it tomorrow.
Like,
Like
I
not
need, we
today.
need to hold each other accountable, because I have nobody like that. It's like just me. Like, I'm supposed to send an email today, it not sent till a week or so later sometimes. I'm always putting it off. I procrastinate with every aspect of life, like more time. But in the grand scheme of things, like I just wanted to better myself. I just wanted to do it like Nike. Just to
I love
go
that.
out there, you know.
That's
Last year,
that's a different form of bravery that people don't talk about very much.
everything I keep on saying, just put myself out there. I'm putting myself
Yeah,
out there. I'm putting myself out there.
yeah.
Putting myself out there. That's all. That was the theme of my life last year in the pandemic. Like nothing was slowing me down in the pandemic. The
Wow.
pandemic. Yes, I got the Rona. My
What?
granddad died of the
What?
Rona.
Oh no, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, yeah. This May just gone, make it 1 year he passed. Rest in peace, Uncle Bus.
Oh no.
So I still persevere, like, because every year, every revolution, I like, this year's gonna be my year. This year's gonna be my year. I really stop and make it my year. Like I accomplished a few things, and coming into 2021.
I love that. I
Yeah,
love that. I feel like that's a
done
good
it, but I made the most of it. Trust me, in 2020.
I feel like it's a good way to end, to close off this conversation. You put in the work, you were consistent and
But
delayed at times, but we still got it done. But I love that you are stepping out on and trusting yourself
yeah,
to be able to make this happen. And that's how you build your self-confidence. That's how
right,
you
confident.
continue to trust yourself, because you know that this is something that you can do, and it's something that you can do very well.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tracy, for sharing your story. Like
It was
I can relate to so much
absolute
of it, but
pleasure.
more than anything, I know that others out there are probably in a position where they are doubting themselves. They are thinking that they don't have the proper credentials or all the accolades or all the honors.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the excuse that they're using to not
And then
start.
we throw motherhood into it, a totally new dynamic.
But you've been able to do it regardless. Like you've been able to do it in spite of. You've been able to do it in addition to doing all of these things. And that's important.
Right.
So for people wanting to reach you and either communicate or do business, where can they find you?
Okay, the easiest way to reach out to me, like either via Instagram or Facebook. I have a business page on Facebook, Roxxi Chung PR. My information is there, WhatsApp number, email is there, or if you go on my Instagram, Roxxi Chung _PR, you'll also can message me and email me there, or send me a nice little DM and I'll reach out.
And I'll put that info in the description box so persons can link up directly from here.
Awesome.
Thanks again for sharing your story. I really appreciate it. And for you guys who are watching,
It's therapeutic for me.
oh,
You really delve into it. I appreciate it.
what? I love that. You see, that's my thing, right? That's what I love. For those who are watching, I hope that you guys could take away a couple of lessons from this conversation. If you're interested in following Roxxi or, working with her, I'll leave her information in the description below. And until the next episode, this is Come Make We Talk. Bye.